You wake up the morning after a day at the beach, and you are on fire. Your shoulders are radioactive. Your back has turned into a touchscreen you never agreed to install. Putting on a shirt feels like a personal attack. So you do what any modern human does. You smear on cold aloe from the fridge, take a freezing shower, crank the air conditioning, swallow some ibuprofen, and lie face down complaining like you've survived a war. And the thing is, you've got an entire civilization built to help you. Sunscreen at every checkout counter, sunglasses, beach umbrellas, wide-brimmed hats, a dermatologist one phone call away, and the ultimate weapon, the ability to simply go inside and never come back out. Now take all of that away. No sunscreen, no aloe, no cold shower, no air conditioning, no sunglasses, no umbrella, no pharmacy, no clean water on tap, and no such thing as I'll just stay in today. Strip every one of those away, and then drop yourself out in the open walking across bright grassland for hours, carrying tools, chasing animals, gathering food, watching the kids while the sun quietly tries to cook the skin right off your body. So here's the question that should genuinely bother you. If a single afternoon can leave you blistered and miserable today, with all of that help, how did humans survive thousands of years out there, under the same sun, with none of it? And the honest answer is stranger than, they were just tougher. Because ancient humans didn't beat the sun with one clever trick. They beat it with a whole stack of them, some in how they lived, and some built right into their bodies. And the first one is so strange it almost sounds like a mistake. So let's start with the mistake. Look at almost any other animal out in the sun, a lion, a zebra, a wolf. They've all got one thing you don't. Fur, a built-in coat covering their skin. And then there's us, soft, bare, exposed skin, standing out in the open like we forgot something. Which raises a genuinely weird question. If the sun is so dangerous, why would evolution ever strip away our fur and leave us naked out there? Because we traded the coat for something better, cooling. A furry animal in the midday heat overheats fast, which is exactly why a lion hunts in short bursts and then collapses in the shade. But a mostly hairless human, covered in millions of sweat glands, can do something almost nothing else can. Shed heat by sweating and just keep going. Keep walking, keep tracking. Harvard's Daniel Lieberman has shown early humans could chase an animal for hours in the heat, until the animal literally overheated and gave up. We didn't lose the fur despite the sun. We lost it to outlast everything else under the sun. But that trade came with a bill. Because the second you take the fur off, you've left bare skin exposed to the most powerful thing in the sky, which is where the body's second defense comes in, one you are wearing right now. Melanin. Melanin is the pigment in your skin, and it isn't just there for color. It's a shield. It absorbs and scatters the sun's ultraviolet radiation before it can shred the DNA inside your cells. A scientist named Nina Jablonski spent years mapping this across the whole planet, and the pattern was clear. The populations living under the most intense direct sunlight generally evolved darker, more melanin-rich skin. Not by choice, by survival. The people whose skin protected them best were simply the ones most likely to stay healthy and raise healthy children. And here's what turns it from a tan into life or death. That UV radiation doesn't only burn you, it destroys a nutrient in your blood called folate, the exact nutrient a body needs to build a healthy baby. So in a high-sun world, darker skin wasn't about appearance at all. It was protecting the next generation before it was even born. Which opens the next mystery. If dark skin is such a powerful shield, why isn't everyone dark-skinned? And the answer is a real trade-off. Because your skin also uses sunlight to make vitamin D, which you need for your bones and your immune system. In the blazing tropics, there's so much sun that even well-protected skin makes plenty. But as humans migrated into cloudy, weak sunlight regions far from the equator, that same heavy shield started blocking too much, and people struggled to make enough. So up there, lighter skin had the advantage. Same sun, opposite problem, and the body quietly adjusted to both. So that's the skin sorted. But no amount of melanin lets you stand in the open desert at noon forever. Which is why the next defense wasn't in the body at all. It was in the behavior. Ancient humans were not sunbathing for fun. They were reading the day. And the smart move then and now is simple. Don't fight the sun at its worst. So the likely rhythm was to do the hard work, the hunting, the long walks, the heavy carrying in the cooler light of early morning and late afternoon, and to rest through the brutal middle of the day. Find a tree, find a cave, find the shadow under a rock overhang. Shade wasn't a luxury, it was a place on the map you had to know, the same way you knew where the water was. And when you did have to move under open sky, you brought the shade with you. That's really all clothing started as portable shade. A draped animal hide, some woven plant fiber, something over the head and shoulders. It didn't just block the cold and the wind and the biting insects. It put a barrier between your skin and the sun so you could cross the open ground without slowly roasting on the way. But here's where it gets genuinely surprising, because ancient humans may have gone one step further and actually put something on their skin. Archaeologists keep finding the same material at early human sites all over the world, ochre. It's a soft, earthy red and yellow mineral, and our ancestors were collecting and grinding it hundreds of thousands of years ago at places like Blombos Cave in South Africa. For a long time, everyone assumed it was purely for decoration and cave paintings. But a researcher named Rian Rifkin actually tested it and found that ochre smeared on skin blocks a real amount of UV, a primitive sunscreen. And this isn't just a guess about the deep past. The Himba people of Namibia still coat their skin today in a paste of ochre and fat that shields them from the harsh sun and the insects. It genuinely works. Now, you might be thinking that sunburn hurts, but you get over it. So why did any of this really matter? And this is the twist most people miss. Out there, the red skin was almost never the thing that actually killed you. It was everything the sun did next. A badly burned body loses water it cannot afford to lose. Cracked, blistered skin is an open door for infection, with no antibiotics on the other side. And heat pushed too far becomes heat exhaustion, and then heat stroke, the point where the body simply stops cooling itself and starts shutting down. Out on the open grassland, too much sun didn't mean an uncomfortable evening. It meant you might not be able to keep moving, and a human who couldn't keep moving was in real danger. And that danger was sharpest for the smallest ones. A grown adult can take a lot. A baby cannot. Little bodies overheat faster, dry out faster, and burn faster, and they can't walk themselves to shade or even tell you what's wrong. So this became one of the quiet, constant jobs of the whole group. Keep the children covered, keep them carried, keep them out of the worst of it. It is one of the oldest forms of care. There is a circle of adults arranging their entire day around keeping the sun off the youngest among them. So step back and look at the whole picture, because this is the real answer. Ancient humans never beat the sun with a single clever invention. They survived it with a stacked bare skin that could sweat, melanin that could shield, a daily rhythm that dodged the worst heat, shade they mapped like water, clothing they carried, ochre they wore, and a community that guarded its children. Layer on layer on layer, most of it invisible, all of it working at once. And that's the part worth sitting with. We tend to picture ancient people as helpless, squinting up at a sky that was trying to kill them. But it was almost the opposite. They weren't tougher than us in some cartoon way. They survived because every single part of their life was built around paying attention to the sky, the heat, the shade, the water, the time of day, the color of the light. Today, we get a little notification with the UV index and decide whether to grab a hat. They didn't have the notification. They read the world directly all day, every day, and it kept them alive. So the next time you're peeling aloe off your shoulders and announcing that the sun has personally ruined your life, take a second to appreciate it. You're annoyed. They were paying attention.
Please like and subscribe for more content like this. We really appreciate your support.